I've always kind of been interested in. You know, even when I was younger, my schooling, I wasn't such a great student, but I've always kind of used art as a crutch or as a way to get over, whether it's like with other students or, you know, to get by with teachers, to at least let them know I'm not totally hopeless. I grew up in Jersey City, and I don't know, I was never a sports person. It seemed like art was sort of my focus when other kids were thinking about what were they going to do after school. As a kid, the kind of art I was into was mostly through skating and the boards, like seeing the different skate graphics and comic books and graffiti in the neighborhood. And it kind of, you know, I skated with a bunch of older kids. I did graph with a bunch of older kids, and it sort of gave me a starting point to start investigating like different interests. I mean, my creative process it's just random. It starts in different ways. I don't have like a structure to it. You know, things come up and I just start working on them. You know, they kind of get in my mind, whether it's in the afternoon when I'm actually in the studio or like 3 in the morning when I'm trying to sleep. I guess because I fund and I do my own work, I have a really open schedule, so it's not really like a critical time crunch thing. So when things come, I kind of apply them, and usually when I'm working on a different thing, you know, I'll start thinking, oh, this could be applied to like a product, or this could be applied to a shirt, or this could be applied to a painting, and sort of the thought process bounces back and forth. I was always really interested in business, and I always kind of figured out sort of what I was doing, what it was worth, and made sure that I stuck to that. So, you know, it's tricky. It's not all just fun, and you know, you do kind of have to keep track of things and do it in a smart way in order to survive as an artist. I mean, I work, you know, traditionally just drawing and painting, and I work on the computer as well. I tend to go back and forth. I'm, you know, the kind of person, I'll use anything I can to kind of get the end result that I want. I don't try to create trends. I don't try to stay on top of trends. The most important thing is to focus on the work that you make and make sure that that's good. Like, people ask me, like, they'll get excited if I'm in a group show with like other famous artists, and I'm like, look, you know, my work doesn't change if you put it next to, you know, a blue chip contemporary artist. It doesn't change if you put it next to like some street kid. It's just like it's important to really make the work that you make and make sure that that's the best and, you know, up to par as it could be. For me, my occupation is my hobby. There's nothing I'd rather be doing, so I'm usually working. Every artist, whether it's visual, musical, writer, like they all get slumps or blocks. If I'm painting and I feel like I'm at the point where maybe I should take a break and do something else, I roll right into design work, and I'll start working on like my new season for Original Fake or toy design. I think also, you know, when you travel, it's always really inspiring, you know, getting to go to different cities or meet other artists and see how they approach their work is definitely, you know, it's really sort of rewarding. I mean, it's really hard to give advice to other artists because it's so different for I think, each person. I think if somebody were to tell me what to do and I followed it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. One thing I do kind of realize in myself and in a lot of, like, whether it's companies or other artists, is figuring out what your strengths are, what your interests are, and just really staying with that and letting everything else change around you. And you might be totally uncool for like ages, and then eventually, if you're good at what you're doing and you're trying to just focus on that, it'll come around, and then your time will come, and that'll be the point where you reach people. Coming from a graffiti background, I was always like very much like, how could I be seen? How could I get my stuff seen? And I just started to be creative with that, think of ways to do that. You know, I do a lot of magazine projects because I like doing I like the process. I like seeing it in print. I like to figure out what to do next time to make it look better in print. And it's important to put yourself out there. I always kind of like, even with this video, I'm thinking the worst, and I'm like, God, why the hell am I on video? It's going to look horrible, whatever. But you put yourself out there in hopes that, you know, something good does come across. So sometimes it works.